So let's look at the question of how the repression of anger then might suppress our immune system, okay? So I'll ask a volunteer here, and whoever volunteers, I can promise you two things. One is that you might feel uncomfortable for a minute, and the other is that you learn something about yourself, okay? So, any volunteers? You know, thanks, right there. No, just stay where you are. Here, what's your name?
Lorraine.
Lorraine? Well, thanks for volunteering. Here are the rules, okay? This is a metaphor or a representation of your life. You sitting in that chair. Therefore, you can't leave the chair, okay? So whatever happens, you're going to have to stay exactly where you are. Other than that, you can do whatever you need to. You got it? Okay. So, Lorraine, what I'm going to ask you is, if you're okay with me standing right here as I give the lecture. Is this comfortable for you? Okay. So, I'm going to come closer now and ask you if it's still okay. If I give the lecture here, is that still okay with you? It's fine. No. What about if I stood right here and gave the rest of the lecture right here? How would that be for you?
It would be a little uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. So what would you like to do about it?
For you to step back.
You'd like me to step back and, okay, how are you going to get that?
Asking you.
You can ask me, okay. You can ask, and I'm going to say heck with you and come a bit closer, okay?
Push you away.
No, okay, now you'd push me away. Now you'd push me away, right? You'd push me away.
Yes.
Okay, very good. As you were pushing, what emotion do you think you'd be generating?
My guts were just going like this, and I was feeling really smothered.
That's why you pushed me away, but as you were pushing, what do you think you'd be feeling?
I felt.
Not what you felt, but what you would feel if you were actually pushing me. What's the emotion do you think that'd be there for you?
I think that would be like, I don't know, a little bit of anger and a little bit of.
Exactly. Anger. And that's a healthy anger. Now, healthy anger is nothing but a defense of your boundaries. And basically, Lorraine, what you'd be saying to me is, you're in my space, get out. You're in my space, get out. Now, if you said that in the first place, you would need to be pushing me, right? But the pushing itself, it's good. It's a good response. It's a healthy response. So, in other words, healthy anger is an expression of a boundary defense. So the job of our emotions. Now, by the way, if I was somebody else in your life, I mean somebody that we had a different relationship with, you might welcome them coming close to you, right? No, I don't mean me. I mean your child or your partner or whoever, or somebody. You might actually embrace them, right, in a different situation. So the role of emotions, basically, is to respond to, approach, and welcome the healthy and positive approach, and to keep out the unhealthy and aggressive one. So it's either I want more of this or I want less of this. So that's the job of healthy anger. That's the job of the emotions. In other words, it's to let in what's healthy and nourishing and to keep out what's dangerous and unwelcome. That's the job of emotions, basically. Now, what is the job of the immune system? Yeah, so basically, the job of the immune system is to keep out what's unhealthy, like bacteria, or to kill cancer cells. That's what it does. Or to let in what's healthy, like vitamins and nourishments and so on. If your immune system attacked the particles of food and destroyed them before you had a chance to absorb them, you wouldn't live. So that the job of the immune system is like that. It's been called the floating brain because it has recognition capacity, reactive capacity, and learning capacity. So it's the same as the emotions. The immune system does the same thing as the emotions. Protect us and let in what we need. Given the unity of all these systems, it's obvious that when you suppress the one, you're suppressing the other. And that's why people that suppress anger, they have diminished activity of their immune system, as has been shown in studies. Or what happens is that the immune system gets so confused because our emotions are confused that it turns against ourselves. And that's when you get autoimmune disease, when the immune system actually attacks the body itself. Fundamentally what happens is, one way or the other, if you don't know how to say no when you need to, your body will say it for you in the form of illness. So chronic illness represents the body saying no when you didn't do it. Not your fault. This is how you were programmed before you had any choice in the matter. So again, it's not a question of blame or self-blame. But it does mean that to prevent illness, or if you have an illness, to deal with it more effectively, you need to learn to assert who you are and to say no. Now that might be difficult sometimes because the people in your life have got used to you as a yes. They've always heard you say yes. Some of them might not like you very much if you start saying no all of a sudden. And what you're going to do when you start saying no is you're going to find out who your friends are. Because the real ones are going to say to you, hey, I'm so glad you're finally saying no. And the ones that were simply there because you were constantly available for them are going to, oh, what happened to her or him? You know? That's it. But so it'll create some conflict which will trigger all your fears about attachment. So you're going to have to learn that you are more important than your attachments. That wasn't true when you were a kid, but it's true as an adult. Well, let me tell you about a friend of mine who lives in Calgary. Her name is Shannon Duke. And Shannon is 48 years old now. And when she was 37, she was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. The stage 4 meant that the cancer was already in her bones by the time it was diagnosed. At that time, she had 2 young children, aged 1 and 3, and married to a well-to-do businessman. She herself was a very high-functioning executive for Microsoft in Calgary. And then she's diagnosed. She had the perfect life, perfect marriage, perfect home, of course. And then she's diagnosed. And healthy, physically, fit. Always ate well. And then she's diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. And she has a transformation. Now, she gets the best medical advice she can get anywhere in North America, and she traveled to New York and elsewhere. She got the best medical treatment, and with that, she was given 1 year to live, because that's the prognosis. Stage 4, despite the medical treatment, chances are you'll be dead in 1 year. Now, a year ago in February, just a year ago now, Shannon traveled to the Napa Valley of California with some of her friends, and they celebrated her 10th year survival and her 47th birthday. And the transformation that she experienced was that when she was diagnosed and started paying attention, she realized that her life had not been her life, because she was sexually abused as a child. And her response to the abuse was, of course, as many children will experience, it can't be about the adults, it's about me. So if this terrible thing happened to me, I must be a very bad person. So I have to be very good to compensate. So the good daughter who doesn't talk about it, doesn't disturb the waters, the good employee, the good student, the good wife who doesn't talk about the husband's addiction issues, because that would again disturb the waters. And when she's diagnosed and she decides she wants to live, she says, the hell with all this perfection and goodness. And she confronts her family of origin about the abuse that she had endured, and she confronts her husband. And she starts living authentic. And she leaves the job, by the way, which wasn't her. Wasn't really expressing who she was. Now, 11 years later, the cancer is still in her bones, but it's completely inactive. But she knows that if she wants to stay alive, she needs to stay authentic. So that I believe that many of these issues are reversible. I'm not promising a cure here to anybody, but Shannon really underwent a major self-journey. And she continues every day to work at it, and she practices her spiritual ways, which she ignored all those years, and she pays attention to herself, and she keeps clearing this stuff out, and she's the picture of health. Her and I give workshops together sometime. So that there's ways to get there, but it's a commitment. And of course, it might threaten the attachment relationships. So that's always your call.